Welcome back, traders. We've got a few things that we want to go through here with regards to our trade setups. The first thing we're going to do is have a look again at our euro dollar. This one has been very interesting. If you remember, we had the support line drawn in that came and got hit like perfectly. The resistance line as well that things seem to be coming off of. And in the longer term, we've seen that the market has been falling quite significantly with this retrace coming and then a sharp down again. Now, a lot of people have been expecting with Trump's administration that the dollar is going to take quite a hammering, but against the euro, it has actually been doing very well. Even when we increase it to the weekly, we can see that from about March 2018, it's been doing very, very well. But back here in 2016, right up until, March this year, we've seen a bullish movement on the euro dollar, meaning that the euro has been strengthening. So it's not really exactly what we're expecting, but things are starting to look even better for Forex traders right now. Let's have a look at current time. Here we see that this line has been hit perfectly. Now, what's very interesting is if we follow the lows, right? And this is one way to determine if the market is bullish or bearish. So we check out the lows, we have one here, then we have a higher low, and this is signifying that the market has turned into a bullish movement. However, the market has just recently come lower than that low, which means the next low can only be lower. And by following the low strategy, it looks like we're going to continue with the bearish movements on the euro US dollar. So we need to watch out for that. Once again, if we follow the highs, we can see that that is a confirmed high. This is a high as well, although not a really good looking one, and we might have some crossover there. But with the two highs, it does look like bullish, and because this has broken the low, that is telling us bearish, which means that the market could be opening up into a bit of a, here we go, we haven't really got a trend formed. We start seeing this sort of thing where the market could range almost anywhere. So we can't really trade off that just yet. However, if we start getting a high that forms at a lower range than this, then we can say, alright, the bearish movement is going to continue. We do have the news event coming out as well quite shortly, and that may, in fact, that probably will confirm which direction this market is going to be going in. And either way it goes, it should go quite well. We don't have a lot of price information in this area, which means there's not a lot of price action that's really going to stop it trading in this zone. You can see the last time it was in this area was back in late 2017. And if we go even further back, we can see that, well, here, this isn't even really in the area, but it spent a little bit of time in the area back in 2016. So if we start picking up a nice trend coming up from the news events, and it confirms that this is coming off as a resistance line, then we could see quite a nice movement all the way down to here, quite comfortably at about 130 pips. And if it breaks through, it could continue going for quite some time. We might even see a crash to parity at some point, but that will take a while. So make sure you're keeping your eyes open, especially for that core durable goods coming out. And if you're only watching this video after that news event has come out, it's fine, because we are looking at the longer term. So go ahead, see what the result was on that, and see if it has continued the trend. And then we're going to be going in that sort of direction. Now, for those of you who are bored at just looking at the euro dollar, we have another nice setup on the euro Canadian, where we can see on the 1 hour chart we've had this continuous bullish movement. Now it looks like it's been trading in a range. If we take this high over here and line it up top, there we go, let's get this more correct. We can see here that it has been trading within this range quite a lot. We did have a breakout which did not last long, and it looks like we have a small breakout happening right now. If we zoom in to have a closer look at the area, we can also see that the market has gone into oversold. Not completely yet, but it is pushing into oversold territory, even on a slower stochastic, which this one is set to 1433. It does take longer to respond, but they typically are more reliable. So from this point, it looks like we might be snapping back into the trading range and hopefully end up going back to the top bar across here. So if that does happen, we could expect it to at least head around this area and look at about 150 pip trade, which would be fantastic for 1 hour chart, because it means that by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, we'd be looking at that. But what we need to wait for on that is for this to go into oversold and start coming out, hopefully give us some candle information, or if we could find some price action information coming off this level, that would help. But again, we're in a range where we haven't seen these prices for quite some time. The last time the market was trading in this range, you're looking at April 2018. Before that, we're looking, well, earlier the same April. Here we go all the way back to February. And if we look at the much bigger picture, there's a huge gap coming across here right back to 2016. So, this is a good and a bad thing. It's good because it means there's not going to be a lot of resistance for these trades to move. This is when we can very often see the market shunting in a direction quite quickly. The only real stumbling block would be at about this level where we had a strong turning point. We had the market tested here as well, although this could have been some sort of anomaly happening. That would really be the only objection that we have with regards to a price action look at things. And here we can see that this line that I drew from all the way back then has been tested right now. So this could be a fun trade. If we see that stochastic is leaving oversold territory, starting to come back up, we get some kind of other confirmation, whether it be the crossover system or good candlestick information coming off a previous resistance line, and it breaks this level. I feel quite confident that it should be able to hit up around the 1.56, 1.57 mark, but we'll have to see how that plays out. So keep your eye on the Euro Canadian as well. There could be some fantastic movements happening here.